The magazine industry is sending mixed signals about how to publish in the digital age. Hearst is coming out with its own e-reader. Meanwhile, Condé Nast is in talks with Apple to have its magazines hit the iPad before others. So what's the strategy that works? Let's ask an expert, David Renard. He's a partner at mediaIDEAS, a consulting firm that advises publishers like Time and Condé Nast on what to do next. We know that there are a lot of magazines out there that have had to close their doors. You guys have done a lot of work trying to forecast what's this industry going to look like in 10 years. I mean, how small is it going to get relative to what it was?
Well, we see the magazine industry today being about a $40 billion industry. By 2014, we see it to be about a $30 billion industry and going back towards $35 billion by 2020.
So going up, eventually after going down.
Eventually going up, but being driven by digital.
Right.
So today, digital is about 10% of the marketplace. In 2014, it'll be about 27%. And by 2020, digital will represent about 57% of revenues.
So iPads, e-readers, this is the way that you say they should go. We have heard from some in the industry saying, you know what, magazines are still here. If you've got a big brand, thank you very much, we're doing just fine. The response from you is what?
Well, magazines are still here, and the bulk of the revenue from the magazine industry comes from print. But unfortunately for advertisers, print doesn't provide enough information about who's actually looking at an advertising, right? The sale right now for ads is that every single copy that is circulated is looked at. Every single ad and every single page is salivated on. But that's simply not true. And with digital, you actually see what is being looked at. Advertisers know what they're paying for. They don't really know what they're paying for in print today.
Is it fair to say the industry overall is moving too slowly? We just highlighted a couple of examples there. Everyone's got their own strategy. I mean, are there some examples out there of firms that are moving fast with the changing technology?
Well, the smaller firms are trying to move as fast as possible. There are plenty of firms that are doing digital-only magazines. You've got Felix Dennis in the UK that has a series of digital-only magazines. The larger publishers are in a difficult position. Most of their revenue comes from print, and investing in digital is pushing lower ad rates. It's pushing a different model that exists today.
So if they don't move fast enough, talk about things like consolidation. Do you think a firm like Apple would say, okay, I'm going to buy that brand, work it into my iPad, something like that? Could that happen?
Apple doesn't need to buy magazines brands. It didn't need to buy major labels. All it needs to do is create a new framework, and it is creating a new framework for books and magazines to be distributed. In a way, on the iPad, you no longer have to be a major publisher or a major brand to succeed. You can have the same level playing field regardless of the size of your company.
David, everybody has to think about this, no doubt, but we still don't know who's going to be the winner in the e-reader market. We have some ideas, but can't magazine companies get a little credit for saying, okay, we're aware of all the options, but we're not sure how this is going to play out. We don't want to throw all our eggs in one basket just yet.
Well, that's completely right. And e-readers today are not the right platform for magazines. They will be over the next 5 years. But today, e-readers are better platforms for books. The iPad is a much better platform for magazines. And though there will be multiple tablet solutions out there, you can't ignore the power and force of iTunes and the power and force of the iPad.
All right. Very quickly, for advertising companies, or companies that invest or advertise with magazines, where do they go 10 years from now? Are they going to be doing deals through iPad with magazines, or?
Advertisers will still be investing in magazines, but it will no longer be to the same extent in print, and it will be much more on digital side.